You're watching CoinOps, a visual podcast, a Moxxi channel production.
Press start.
Another video? It's all ready for another video? Oh man, you guys are relentless. Like every week with this stuff. All right, see you back in the Man-Cade. Hey, thanks for meeting me here. How is you? I am fine, thanks for not really asking. On today's very special episode, no, relax. No one's gonna really learn anything or get assaulted. It's not one of, those very special episodes. I'm gonna take you through my experience turning a defunct late 70s 4-player cocktail cabinet into something fun and useful thanks to this, the amazing Atari GameStation Pro by MyArcade. I love this thing, and by the end of this video, you're probably going to love it too. It does way more than you'd imagine. Let's get into it. I remember it like it was yesterday, well, at least not that long ago. And it all started with a visit to Facebook Marketplace, as all my days usually start, looking for shit I don't need. And as I think we all experience, only people on the other side of the city sell the really good stuff. You know, the hour drive people. 70s Midway arcade 4-player cabinet, non-working, only $200. Wow, I'm not paying that at all. So I drive out there, I gave it the once-over and decided it's a really cool piece of retro furniture for the Man-Cade, and if nothing else. And I offered the gentleman $75, and he was happy to take it, and he told me it had been in his late uncle's basement for decades. I decided to restore it to its former glory, and after visiting many forums where I discover no one has ever seen this thing before, so it's impossible to find the motherboard for this thing if it even had one, I quickly give up on the notion of building spinners and potentiometers and going old school on this thing. As the Midway cab was originally intended for 4-player paddle games, hockey, tennis, and soccer, I wanted to primarily make it paddle games based, which meant Atari 2600, Warlords, Super Breakout Kaboom, and my homebrew favorite, Medieval Madness. I decided on Atari Junior due to the size, a Harmony multi-cart, new paddle controllers, and a 15-inch sharp LCD TV I spent like $2,200 on back in 2002. What an idiot I was. Those new Atari paddles, by the way, are a must-have. There's no jitter, super long cables, and they just feel great. However, they should sell them with different game carts. Everything worked quite well. All of the Atari favorites were there, and people I had over really enjoyed playing the old Atari games from their childhood. But there were issues. Even though the cabinet was gutted, there wasn't enough room to keep the Atari Junior flat with the Harmony cart, plus I needed to access the Junior's difficulty and select buttons, which was incredibly inconvenient. Luckily, there was a rectangular hole in the cab, obviously for the insert coin mechanism, so I awkwardly stuck the game cart through that and could access the Junior switches. Ultimately, I knew I needed a better solution, where all the Atari functions were at my fingertips. But it didn't exist. Or did it? The Atari GameStation Pro by MyArcade comes stock with 200 plus games, and it released last year in October 2023. And they're usually priced at around $99 US, but you might be able to find them at a better price point. The unit is sleek looking, like a futuristic Atari console, and it's tiny. It has an HDMI out, comes with an HDMI cable. There's 5-volt USB-C power. Doesn't come with a cube, but any phone charger cube will work. It features 2 USB-C inputs if you wish to wire up your controllers, which require 4 AA batteries if you want to use them wirelessly. The unit also has a micro SD card slot, and more on that momentarily. Each controller features a large joystick, an onboard paddle spinner wheel, buttons A, B, and C, and a start, select, and home button. Everything a guy like me needs in a unit that I can completely control from the joystick. This is exactly what I need for my cabinet. Okay, so here's the best part. While the games are definitely limited on the stock system, that's a temporary issue. MyArcade future-proofed this little dynamo by including that very important microSD card slot I mentioned. Their update from firmware 1.20 to 1.30 allows you to add games to the system quite easily to be read off of the SD card. And I'm talking more Atari games, arcade games, NES games, SNES, Game Boy, Genesis, and more. Oh yeah! I've included links below to the tutorials I used. All you need beyond what you've got already is a Windows PC, a 16 gig or 32 gig or higher microSD card of good quality, SanDisk, etc., and a USB-C to USB data cable. I used my PS5 controller charging cable, which worked. Ultimately, there are two methods. The easy way, which involves a firmware update and adding ROMs to folders, which you can easily access on the Atari GSP. Or the more involved method that I use that you can see, which involves a firmware update as well, changing the game's INI file, and creating graphics so that the games can show up on the Atari GSP menu. While the Atari GSP is primarily for 2 players, you can have 2 wireless controllers and 2 wired controllers hooked up via USB-C to USB-C cables. This currently doesn't work for most games, but it does work for exactly what I was looking for. With this configuration, you can actually play 4-player Arcade Warlords, and that was my end game for this cabinet. All the other stuff was just gravy on the cake, or icing. Icing's good too. My thanks to GenXGrownUp for his channel and his amazing tutorials on how to bring this Atari GSP to life. He's got a great channel over there and I suggest you check it out. And my thanks to you for watching. If you aren't retro gaming, what are you doing? I'll see you next time, friends.
A winner is you. Productions.